Everyone says they want to be rich, more money, more freedom, more choices. But here's the uncomfortable truth: many people secretly don't want to be rich. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack intelligence, but because deep down, wealth threatens the beliefs and identities they've carried all their lives. That's why you'll see people read books, watch financial videos, follow all the right accounts, but still stay stuck in the same financial cycle. Because wanting to be rich consciously and being willing to become rich subconsciously are two very different things. Today, let's break down 5 hidden reasons you secretly don't want wealth and what it takes to break free. Chapter 1: Fear of Losing Comfort. Richness sounds exciting, but it also means change. And the truth is, most people fear change more than they fear being broke. Comfort feels safe. Your routines, your current friends, your predictable life, even if it's not ideal, is familiar. Wealth disrupts that. Suddenly, you might have to move differently, make new decisions, deal with risk. And deep down, many people would rather keep the comfort of just enough than step into the discomfort of transformation. I've spoken to people who say they want to invest or start a business, but when the chance comes, they freeze. Not because they can't, but because they don't want to leave the comfort of where they are. You have to get comfortable with discomfort in small doses. Start with micro stretching, invest a small amount, take a small risk, test a side project. The more you show yourself you can survive outside your comfort zone, the more space you create for wealth to enter. Chapter 2: Fear of Responsibility. Here's another hidden truth: wealth means responsibility. When you have more money, people expect more from you, your family, your friends, even society. And that pressure can feel heavy. That's why some people sabotage their own progress. They don't want the weight of being the one who made it. I knew someone who once said, "If I get rich, my relatives will never leave me alone." And so he stayed where he was. It's easier to stay small when no one asks anything of you. But that easiness is the very trap that keeps you broke. If the thought of wealth makes you feel burdened instead of empowered, you'll unconsciously avoid it. Redefine responsibility. Being wealthy doesn't mean carrying everyone else's weight. It means having options. Learn to set boundaries. Decide in advance what you will give and what you won't. That way, money becomes freedom, not a burden. Chapter 3: Fear of Judgment and Isolation. Money changes how people see you, and many secretly fear that. Friends might envy you, family might resent you, strangers might judge you. This fear is powerful because humans are wired to belong. We want acceptance more than almost anything. And if you believe being rich might separate you from your circle, you'll hold yourself back without realizing it. I've seen this happen with people who grew up in modest neighborhoods. The moment they start earning more, they feel guilty about leaving others behind. So they downplay their success, or worse, sabotage it. If belonging matters more than freedom, you'll unconsciously stay where everyone else is. Instead of asking, "Will people accept me if I'm rich?" Ask, "Am I willing to outgrow the circles that no longer serve me?" Not everyone has to come with you. The right people won't resent your success, they'll rise with you. Wealth isn't about fitting in, it's about finding where you truly belong. Chapter 4: Fear of Losing Identity. Here's the deepest one: identity. If you've always seen yourself as the struggler, the survivor, the underdog, wealth threatens that story. Because once you're rich, who are you? You can no longer say, "I'm broke, but I'm real." You can no longer justify certain choices. I knew someone who said, "If I get rich, I won't even recognize myself." And that fear kept him stuck. Your mind would rather keep the identity it knows, even if it's painful, than risk stepping into the unknown. To become rich, you have to be willing to rewrite who you are, and that's terrifying for many. Don't see wealth as replacing your identity, see it as expanding it. You're not abandoning who you are, you're evolving into a fuller version. Instead of "I'm the underdog," it becomes "I was the underdog and I grew." You don't lose yourself, you discover more of yourself. Chapter 5: fear of failure after trying. And finally, the most paralyzing fear of all: what if you try and you fail? Because here's the brutal truth: as long as you don't try, you can hold on to the dream. You can say, one day I'll be rich. But the moment you go all in and fail, that dream dies. And that fear keeps people in endless learning, endless planning, endless preparation, but never execution. It's safer to stay broke with a dream than to risk trying and losing it. But here's the paradox: by avoiding failure, you guarantee it. Because wealth only comes through the messy road of failure first. Redefine failure. Failure isn't the end of the dream, it's the proof you're walking toward it. Every successful person failed more times than others even tried. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I never try? Because that's the only failure that truly lasts. Final truth. So let's recap the 5 hidden reasons you might secretly not want to be rich. You fear losing comfort, you fear responsibility, you fear judgment and isolation, you fear losing your identity, and you fear failing after trying. These fears live under the surface, they disguise themselves as procrastination, overthinking, or not the right time. But at the root, it's not about money, it's about safety. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They want wealth in their heads, but fear it in their hearts. The truth is, becoming rich isn't just about numbers. It's about rewiring who you are, what you believe, and what you're willing to face. That's why I built the Money Mirror Playbook. Not just another guide of tips, but a framework to uncover your blind spots, break these hidden fears, and finally align your actions with the wealth you say you want. Because money won't change who you are, it will only reveal it. Get the Money Mirror Playbook now on Shopify, link in the description. The mirror never lies. The only question is, are you ready to look into it?